And good morning again, everyone. It is a Saturday morning, very, very cold, big football weekend, January 24th, 2026, 710 KNUS, the Weather Center. Nothing higher than 17 degrees, 5 degrees tonight, 20 degrees tomorrow, snow at kickoff time, and 0 tomorrow night, and back to 44 degrees on Monday. Before we get into what is taking place, there's been another shooting in Minneapolis. Scott can't be with us this morning. He's under the weather. And Brando is with us from Devil's Head. Next Saturday, we caught a break. It isn't this week. The next weekend, the National Western Complex, the Colorado Motorcycle Expo. Hey, Brando, good morning, man. Thanks for coming back up. I know you got a busy morning going. But I get to put my trike in with you guys and talk about what we're going to do next Saturday, if you would.
Well, thanks for having me on, Peter. Always a pleasure. You are the man, that's for sure. So next weekend is the Colorado Motorcycle Expo. I think it's the 48th or 49th one, yep. Coming up on 50 years. So what that is it's a big, huge swap meet with a bunch of vendors and the biggest bike show of the year. So if you're into motorcycles, it's definitely something to not miss. Most motorcycle people have been there at least once, yep. But it's a lot of fun. So that's actually January 31st and February 1st, Saturday and Sunday.
It's the largest motorcycle show in the Rocky Mountain region, and there's 100 bikes going to be there looking for top honors, 20 categories, choppers, parts. We're going to finally get Brando's stuff out in the open and have people have the opportunity to buy what the man makes, and the man makes the best. And we're going to be right in the front door on the big floor, right? That's where we're going to be.
Yeah, this year instead of being in the vendor area, we've attended as vendors for a decade or so. We are going to be in the bike show area, in the huge bike show, and have our vendor area set up there. And we've invited a ton of our customers and friends to bring their bikes and really get to show off what we make.
So we're going to go in Friday mid-morning about 11 o'clock with Randy and you and I, and you taking your trailer in, and Randy and I are going to ride in, and I think somebody else is riding in with us. And we go in the back door of the complex, and the weather looks at least rideable. It's going to be warm enough to ride and park the bikes, and then we're there for 2 days, and I'm really looking forward to it. Get to hang out with everybody and see everybody and hang out with you the man, and we're going to have a good time. So for the folks getting ready, it starts Saturday morning and runs Saturday and Sunday. It's the Motorcycle Expo. Tickets are at the door at the National Western Complex. And look for Devil's Head. I'll be wearing my Devil's Head hat, man, so we'll go get them. I promise.
Thank you.
All right, so, man.
So everybody can get tickets online or the day of. You just got to go to the ColoradoMotorcycleExpo.com if you want to get them beforehand, and that's where, if you want to show your bike, you register as well. Tomorrow is the last day to register, and we're really trying to make this the biggest bike show portion of it ever. They also got Battle of the Bands. They got all kinds of stuff going on. It's a blast.
See, you could do this job. I told you. You got the voice. You got the pipes. You could be. you could do on air one show.
Well, like you tell me, I got a face for radio.
Both of us. It's my son. Talk to you after the show. Thanks, Bubba. Thanks. Everybody, 710 KNUS. All right, so an armed person has been shot by Border Patrol in Minneapolis, has died. They say 2 magazines were recovered with a firearm. There's things post-justified, 100% case closed. Border Patrol shot someone who DHS tells Fox News was armed with a gun. They've recovered that gun as well as 2 magazines. I am told the person was shot multiple times. Medics were working on them, and its CPR was being performed. There's a video floating online of the shooting, and I'm reading this where you can see this shooting happen. I've seen one of them already. What we do not know right now is what led up to the shooting or what type of enforcement this was. You've got politicians putting statements out already. Again, I'm reading it. You got people gathering to protest. You got federal agents and police trying to hold those folks back. We're going to have more and more people showing up at the scene. It's likely going to run into another scene of heated protests today based on what, again, I have to move this, so give me a second, based on what we've seen in Minneapolis last couple of weeks. We can watch the video, 303-696-1971. Your thoughts?
Well, real quick, Peter,
Yeah.
I did see cleaner video with cleaner audio that you can decipher a lot quicker, and it does appear that there's multiple shots. I don't know if it's the same officer firing multiple shots or if all four cops shot different weapons, but it does appear that there's multiple shots. So I wanted to correct that.
Read this again. One person told the television station they wanted to keep ICE out of their community. Law enforcement declared an unlawful assembly. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said he has spoken to the White House about the shooting. I quote the governor, Minnesota has had it. This is sickening. All right, to you, 303-696-1971. Is this sickening? 303-696-1971. Lines are open. Should Donald Trump end this operation? The governor said the president must end this operation, pull the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota. How do you feel about that statement? The mayor, who kind of reminds me of Denver's mayor in many ways, the Minneapolis mayor and the police chief, Brian O'Hara, are expected to hold a press conference at 12:30 Eastern time. That should be coming up here in a little bit. If not, Border Patrol Commander, that thing's jumping around, it's renewing itself. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino is expected to hold a press conference after theirs. It's the second time a person has been shot and killed by immigration officers in the city just this month. Renee Good was shot and killed behind the wheel of her SUV, and now this customs and we'll do that. 303-696-1971. Let's just go to Jim. Jim, you're on a radio show. It's Saturday. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Regardless of the reason why the federalized troops are in Minneapolis, I think the mayor came out a week or two ago and he said he wanted ICE to get the F out of Minneapolis. He knew what the potential of this was. Masked people in any city in this nation are going to be a negative.
So your position now is?
My position now is if they don't get this done and get out rapidly and make an effect on this nation and the immigration and the employers that continue to draw these people in to do their work, we're going to have more and more negative occurrences happen. I've expected people to start sniping at these masked Americans that are trying to make America great. You cannot expect this society to sit down and allow this to happen in any red, blue city in this nation.
Do you think, given what you know or believe about Donald Trump, that he'll back out and bring the ICE agents out of there? Do you believe that?
I think he has no choice, but he's going to move them into another city in the nation.
Or do you think
play more games with people?
Do you think they will take these agents now out of Minneapolis?
They need to for their safety.
No, please, I'm trying to hone you down to say yes or no. Do you think they will?
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's not going to cut.
If they want to handle this problem, they could go about it in a much cheaper method. They could take one shareholder, one small businessman, and one restaurateur, and they could take the employers that are the electromagnet that brings these hepatitis people into our nation and puts them into our food distribution system and they could parade 3 people a month into jail, and these people would no longer be paid by the employer class who demands cheap, compliant, abundant labor for their businesses.
Wrap it up for me. So I'm hearing both sides of the argument now.
Yeah, I have both sides. I don't think we should have allowed our food distribution network in this nation to be overcome and overrun by hepatitis spitting people. These restaurants in this nation, these fast distribution places, are just nothing but hepatitis distribution outlets. And I think America needs to move away from catering to the employers that continue to bring these illegals into this nation primarily.
Call, thank you. Let's go to Jay in Highlands Ranch. There's 2 lines open, 303-696-1971. Jay, you're on the show.
Hey, good morning, Peter.
Morning.
Good. So I've been in law enforcement about 14 years. Got a pretty good look at the video with the audio. Obviously, we don't know exactly what happened. We don't know who this guy was, why they're contacting him, all that good stuff. But seeing in the video with how the agents are reacting initially, they seem kind of frantic to kind of get control of this guy.
But they also take off after they shoot him.
Right, and so in the video that I'm seeing with the audio, there's one distinct gunshot while all the agents are around him. Right before that gunshot happens, one agent turns away to kind of back out. So kind of from what I see, I almost wonder if that very first gunshot came from the suspect. Because once that gunshot goes off, all the agents seem pretty shocked and back out. Yeah. And then one agent to the left does shoot. It looks about 5 or 6 times. But there's one distinct gunshot that goes off prior to that, and there's a little bit of a lull. And then 5 rounds come, and you can see the agent who's shooting on the left side.
Yeah, he's on.
You don't know.
Yeah, so what do you do with all this? Should I'm watching the mayor speak. I'm watching the governor speak. I'm watching Donald. So far, nothing from the White House. But should the ICE agents now leave Minneapolis as quick as they can?
You know, and it's so hard to say, right? It'd be easier to know what this guy's background was, why they're contacting him. You know, if they're contacting a guy that's, been convicted, or they're looking for a violent crime, and they need to get him out. They need to get him out. But if it's just, a citizen or something else,
is it not? I mean, this has become so volatile. If the guy has multiple arrests, do you think it's really going to matter to these protesters?
No, I don't. I think, the optics are already out there. They can come back and say, this guy is a felon, shouldn't have a gun. He's from a different country, shouldn't be here. I think the protests are going to happen regardless. Should ICE, get out of Minneapolis as soon as they can? It's hard to say. I would say no. They're there to do a job. They're all trained. People are saying they're untrained. No, they all go through a federal law enforcement academy, just like any other federal agency. It's just the tough part of what they are doing is so controversial. The things they're enforcing. However,
are they there now? I think the raids, the basic, raids are over. That story with the little kid yesterday, I understand the fullness of the story, but that didn't look good on paper. The Border Patrol in Minneapolis sounds rangy in the first place, but I know why they're there. And if they leave, that means Trump pulled out. And
right.
That's not going to happen. I mean, knowing what I know about Donald Trump, he's not going to cut and leave.
Exactly. And that's the rough part too. But and my heart goes out to those guys. No one ever wants to be an officer of all shooting. It's by far the most stressful point of any officer's career if that does happen.
Oh, my heavens.
And I went through a course probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and I want to say the percentages is about say 100 officers are in a shooting. Of those 100 officers, only 25 roughly 25% stay on the job, and that all of them within the next 5 years get out of the work.
I would imagine.
It's just such a horrible thing, and those guys, especially in the position they're in, none of them want to have to do that.
Let me read this to you now.
Sure.
Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin. Officers were conducting a targeted operation against an illegal alien wanted for violent assault when an individual approached the U.S. Border Patrol with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Officers attempted to disarm the subject, but the person violently resisted. An agent fired defensive shots because he feared for his life and the lives and safety of his fellow officers. That's the statement from DHS.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't say anything.
You get all that from the video for the most part, just with the exception of him being some kind of a violent assault, I guess.
So with the governor, and Waltz has his own set of problems, and this mayor would match up to Denver's mayor, but what do you think is going to happen?
I don't see ICE changing course. Kind of like you said, the optics of Donald Trump pulling out.
No.
He wouldn't accept that.
No.
I think there will be protests and possibly rioting, like we've seen. But I think that operation they're doing there, whatever they called it, is going to continue.
I also think Donald Trump, will probably send more troops in. There's some talk about bringing in the reserves.
Okay, yeah.
Man.
So that would be under his control, unlike National Guard.
Yeah, they'd be like the NGs, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's on. If you're got a screen near you right now, there's the protests are growing. It's a no-win, isn't it?
I see that as a no-win either way. And kind of regardless if it's a justified shooting or not, it's going to be a no-win.
Wow. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Peter.
All right, thank you. 303-696-1971. Lines are open. If you're just joining us, a man is dead. Another shooting in Minneapolis involving the feds from Customs and Border Protection. A U.S. official with knowledge of the incident, this is now through CBS News. Two Department of Homeland Security officials told CBS that the person had a firearm and two magazines. It's not known if the person brandished or discharged the weapon or if it was found after the shooting. Then I read the Tricia McLaughlin statement. First aid was rendered. The person was pronounced dead at the scene. Defensive shots. 303-696-1971. Now the governor is calling for Donald Trump to take these, what did he call them? The White House is saying you got politicians putting out statements already. You got people gathering to protest. You got feds and police trying to hold these folks back. What should happen next? Should Donald Trump bring Homeland Security, the Border Patrol, out of Minneapolis? 303-696-1971. Lines are wide open.
Your KNUS forecast for the Denver metro area is a frigid one this weekend. Teens to low 20s is all we'll hit for highs today and tomorrow. Wind chill readings going to be in the single digits despite light winds. Overnight lows, single digits. Some light snow shower activity here around the metro area this Saturday. We'll see anywhere from a heavy dusting to maybe another inch. A little bit of some redeveloping light snow then Sunday afternoon and at night. Some very small new accumulations likely. I'm meteorologist Mark Huer in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Now the networks are saying the man who was shot and killed was a U.S. citizen. 710 KNUS, good morning, everyone. We have two lines open, and again, it's happened in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. Another man's been shot, shot and killed. 303-696-1971. I don't know what we do with this. Do you think the governor and the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of the state are calling for Donald Trump to get the Homeland Security people out of there? I would doubt that Donald Trump will do that. There's a video showing, and you can see the shooting happen. Apparently there's a 9mm that was found. This guy had it. 2 magazines. I don't know. I know as much as you know. But telling Trump to get the Homeland Security people out of there, I think they'll bring more in. Calling the woman a terrorist that was shot, the first woman shot, Renee Good, they were calling her a terrorist. All right, let's go to Mark. Mark, you're on a radio show. Thank you. It's Saturday. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, Peter.
Hey, man.
I think we have to stay there because I think it's a turning point for this country, whether we remain a republic or we become a communist.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know how to read this. The Trump administration is calling Renee Good a domestic terrorist. Do you think that's accurate? The first woman shot, and then
I do, Peter, because when she backed up, she could have just kept on backing up, and she would have been able to get out of there, and there wouldn't have been a problem. But she backed up. She turned her wheels. I saw those videos. I saw like 8 or 9.
I did too.
And it looked like she pointed her wheels at him, and then the other one said, "Go, baby, go." And she hit the accelerator. The reason it looks like it didn't go fast at the beginning is because the wheels were spinning on the ice, and then once they took hold, then that thing took off. And then he had no choice but to shoot her. And if you see the video, she hit him pretty hard. From the distance videos, it shows that she hit him really hard. And then
I've talked to a lot of cops I know on the job about that shooting, and I don't know anything about it, but their sense was you don't shoot into a vehicle through the windows and those kind. They were in essence they were critical of the shooting. I don't know what to do with it, and now this, and I don't know what to do because I don't know who this guy is. They're saying he's a U.S. citizen. Where does this lead? Where does this lead? Do you think?
Well, I mean, go back real quick on the Renee Good. She had 3 children, but they only talk about her 6-year-old son. They don't talk about the 2 older children that she had from her first marriage. And
but I don't.
From what I'm hearing,
I don't know.
I can't say.
I don't know what that has to do with being shot.
Well, she was abusive. She was abusive to those children, and it tells you what type of person she was.
Where can I read?
The father got complete. I mean, if a person does horrible things to their children.
Okay, where can I read that? Because I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying I want to be able to read that. And when
I'm saying she's not a good person. They make her out to be a martyr and such a wonderful person. She's not.
Okay.
That's who she is, and that's what a lot of these people are. Now, whether she was paid or not, I don't know. It didn't sound like she had a job, and so she's And then the mayor and the governor are inciting violence. I mean, I don't know if they've been subpoenaed or not, but they're telling their people to go out and create violence. They're right at that borderline where they're protecting themselves, yet they're trying to get the people to come out and do it. A lot of those people are paid protesters. They get paid a lot of money, and they sit around until they get a call and they get airline tickets and hotel and meals to go and do that. They're very violent people. A lot of those protesters are, and then there's the local guys too. But we can't surrender. Trump can't pull out, because if he does, then one, we went in there for fraud and waste, and there's billions of dollars. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. California is unbelievable from what they say.
But you're talking about the Somalis. Yeah, but the Somalis. It's interesting to look at that historically. The Clintons put the American soldiers into Somalia. That's Black Hawk Down. And then George W. Bush brought the Somalis here, and then Barack Obama set the programs up. And I don't think a nickel of that money stayed in this country. I think it went right back to the homeland.
Yeah, the two of the worst presidents we've had, well, period, if you include Biden.
Well, George Bush certainly, I think, leads the league, but
yeah, I think he should be a war criminal, but that's beyond.
No, I understand. I understand.
That's another time for discussion for that.
Yeah, no, it's.
Did you know, Peter? Did you know that according to Mexico, they have 39.9 million people from Mexico in this country illegally, and that's anywhere from 12 to 20% of their economy.
I've not heard that. I've not heard that either. But
yeah, there's a Peter Schweizer's book that just came out, and that's not him making up the deal. It's actually
I understand.
Some document from a Mexican official saying that they have 39.9 million Mexicans in this country. Now, how many are legal? How many are illegal? But they're all sending that money. That money comes out of this country and goes to another country. That's lost revenue that could be put back into this country.
Sure. There's protesters now gathering at this site. I don't know how this comes to an end. Love the call, man. Thank you very much, Mark. It's good. Let's go to Nick in Denver. Two lines are open, 303-696-1971. If you were calling and got a busy call now. Nick, you're on the radio show. Good morning. Thank you.
Thanks for taking my call, and this is a suggestion, might be a bad one, but there's plenty of equipment out there that'll knock a human being down without killing them. And since the Border Patrol agents are really not cops, I mean, they kind of fall in a gray area, I think that they should be armed with these kinds of tools, and that way you can take somebody down, you knock them out of the equation, but you don't kill them.
You know, I've heard the beanbag gun argument a lot, or the people that tase you or that kind of thing. I know of cases again and again and again that guys get tased that doesn't bother them.
This is not a taser. I'm talking about a weapon that will, or a tool that will knock anybody down and incapacitate them. Period.
If it's
out of it,
100%. I mean, I don't know that weapon, but I know that there's been so many stories of especially guys that are cranked up or high, and they're big and they're tough, and the cops hit them with 2 or 3 tasers, and they don't go down. They come out.
This is not a taser. It's a bullet, but it doesn't kill people.
What does it do?
It incapacitates them completely because it hits you with enough force to knock anybody down and knock you out of the fight, but it does not kill you.
What's it named, or what's it called?
Well, the one manufacturer that I'm aware of, and there are others out there, is Byrna, B-Y-R-N-A, and I think it's made. It's assembled or made in Indiana.
Okay.
And it has the bullet, whatever you want to call it, leaves the gun at about 500 feet per second, which is not as fast as a regular bullet, but it's enough to knock anybody down and incapacitate them without killing them.
One of the first questions I think I would ask, if you or your son or daughter were going out on patrol, would you say to them, "Here, give me your weapon and take this"?
Well, it has the same effect as a weapon. It just doesn't kill you.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is. I've heard that argument many times, or the same thing that after somebody comes after a cop and the cop takes them out, and the family comes forward and says, "Why didn't you shoot them in the leg?" And that's not the training. So I mean, I don't know. I'm willing to look at anything at this point. What do you think the answer now is in Minneapolis?
Well, you know as well as I do, Trump is not going to back down.
No, he's not.
And he's going to say, he's probably going to escalate it, saying, look, you can't handle the situation. Our border people are constantly in danger. We're going to send in the National Guard.
I suspect that he'll escalate to martial law, maybe, or something like that, and take over the city, and that'll really set it up. Because
he doesn't have much of a choice now. He can't back down.
That's right.
Not only because he's Trump, but because of the situation. So the only thing he can do is escalate.
Would you advise him to pull out?
No.
Stay.
But I would definitely change the way they operate. They have to change the rules of engagement, because the way things are right now, from what I understand or see, it's just an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, and it just happened, I guess, an hour or two ago. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll read this to you. Top Democrats in Minnesota renewed calls for federal immigration agents to leave the state. Social media posts, "Get ICE out of our state now." Amy Klobuchar announcing this week that she is running for governor. The current governor, Tim Walz, said Donald Trump must end this operation. What are the chances?
0.
I agree. He's not going to go. He's not going to leave.
And there is blame. There's plenty of blame to go around. And I voted for Trump, but I just don't like his MO a lot of times. He could be a lot more subtle about things, but he's not going to back down. And this situation got out of control because the local authorities were not able to get a handle on things.
Well, but they were involved. I mean, Waltz is clearly involved in certainly that Somali daycare scam. They knew.
He doesn't have much of a moral standing. I'm sorry.
No, he's well, he is who he is. Klobuchar, when you look at how that Somali thing, and I read, not that I'm an expert, but I read extensively about it. It was when the Bushes put the Rangers and others, the Night Stalkers, into Somalia, and they didn't send armor. Because Bill Clinton, or Hillary more than Bill, didn't want to show aggressiveness. And I said, if you're sending these young men and women into that situation, and you don't want to show that you're aggressive, so you don't send armor. Remember in the rescue the book, by the way, Black Hawk Down, is every bit as good as the movie. But if you had to go and get those guys, they didn't have any armor to go and get them. There was nothing that they had that they could go and get the men from Black Hawk Down out of that situation. And then the Clintons left. They up and left.
This is what happens when you do. I don't know if I can say this word in public. This is what happens when you do things half-assed. If you're going to send people into combat in a combat situation where anything can happen, and things spiral out of control in a hurry, you give them every tool necessary to do the job, or just don't do it. Don't do it halfway.
That was the critique. And then when those young men were killed, then Hillary and Bill pulled everybody out, and they just turned around and got out of there. And then
that's right.
And then
that's right.
the Somalis followed them back, and then
if you're going to ask 18 and 20 and 25-year-old kids, not kids anymore, to put them in that kind of situation, you need to give them every tool necessary to do the job, or don't send them in there.
Did you ever? There's a book called The Nightingale Song, and it's a really emotional book. And as the story goes, no nightingale sings until it hears another nightingale sing first. And Ronald Reagan was the nightingale. And after the total destruction of the military through the 60s and 70s, and there were guys like Norman Schwarzkopf and others, Colin Powell, who stayed, and they waited, and they heard the nightingale, and the nightingale was Reagan. And Reagan rebuilt the military. and they heard the nightingale sing. And then when it came time, Herbert Walker Bush put them in Kuwait. And then finally the Clintons misused them. And
Yes, they did.
And they really did. But the Nightingale Song is just an incredible book. And again, I'm a huge Reagan fan, so I can see Reagan as the Nightingale. But those guys heard him, and they stayed with him, and they made that incredible military that in some ways you ask about. And that's one of the points they made is unless you can't stand on the PT platform in one sentence, two or less, and tell that young man or young woman what they're going to do, you can't send them. You had to have to make that 1 or 2 sentence rule, and that was World War II. I mean, you could tell people, you couldn't tell them in Southeast Asia. Nick, I got a break. Good call, man. Thank you so much. Lines are open. Let's get an update on what has now happened in Minnesota. Hang on. There are two lines open. It is January 24th, a Saturday morning. 17 will be the high, 5 degrees tonight. 20 on Sunday will be all they get, and the snow will hit about kickoff time. Good morning, everyone. Another shooting in Minneapolis. We'll team up with Adam and tell you what we know in just a second. And then we have two lines open. If you're planning a winter trip but don't want to buy a whole setup for the kids, maybe your beloved equipment just needs a little TLC, or maybe you can rent for your kids and grandkids. We're talking about ski equipment, snowboarding. Our listeners, we always say Larson Ski and Sport, undisputed champions of rentals and repair services. And Larson's makes getting to the mountain easy, affordable because of the great season rental packages. And now we're in January, and I got a ski day coming. Larson's makes getting to the mountain easy. So when it comes to repairs and tunes, certified techs or experts, John's son Jack is the best. Paul, everybody, ensuring your Dynastar or Solomon's or other high-end gear performs perfectly well. They carry all the newest skis and boards and high-quality insulated jackets that your family needs. Don't waste your time driving to the mountains. Make your pit stop right off the interstate for rentals or take a look at new stuff. It's convenient, it's reliable, it is the only independent shop. I trust them. Shop today. Make sure you tell them Peter Boyles sent you. Larson Ski and Sport. You're going westbound on I-70 or eastbound coming home. Get off on the Kipling exit. Stay to your right. Head south. Look to your right. You see a big wooden box door. That's Larson Ski and Sport. The website, Larson Sport, LARSONSPORT.com. 303-423-0654. 303-423-0654. Larson Sport, 7daysawweek.com. All right, Adam will join me. I'll just begin to read this. This is The Wire. A man is dead after a shooting in Minneapolis Saturday involving federal immigration agents from Customs and Border Protection. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the news briefing at the man's 37 years old, American citizen. He is believed to be a lawful gun owner, had a permit to carry. He did not identify the man, but said his only previous interactions with law enforcement were traffic violations. Spokesperson Trish McLaughlin said the officers were conducting a targeted operation against an illegal alien wanted for violent assault when an individual approached them, the U.S. Border Patrol, with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, and they attempted to disarm him, and he violently resisted, and the agent fired. What do you have to add to that, Adam?
The only thing I have to add to that is his name.
Okay.
It has been identified through the Minnesota Star-Tribune. His name is Alex Jeffrey Pretty, Pretti. 37, has an address listed in South Minneapolis. Lawful gun owner with a permit. Records show he attended University of Minnesota and had a nursing license that was issued in 2021.
What do you suspect Donald Trump will do? I think that he's not going to leave, which is what the call is from the governor and the mayor and others. To the phones, hey, Gary, you're on the radio show Saturday morning. Thank you.
Oh, hi, Pete. Good show. Thanks.
Thank you.
I haven't seen the video, but I'm pretty sure what Donald Trump will do is enlist more troops into Minnesota, because that's the way this petulant teenager thinks. And the most recent example of that is, you remember when he was blowing up all those boats with the drugs off of Venezuela? And when people started questioning whether that was legal or not, what did he do? He doubled up, and he started every day he was blowing up a boat. And that's what he's going to do here. He's going to send in more troops. They'll find some justification. They'll get their story right. And his base will support him on this, because he's doing what he said he was going to do when he was elected. And the way the Republicans think that support Trump, whatever he does is correct, and then they find reasons to justify that conclusion. And but And, you know, a lot of people seem to think that it's all Democrats that are objecting to what's going on in Minnesota. But I think there's an awful lot of independents like me that have a problem with Mr. Trump. And the people who are going to be hurt most of all are the Congress people who want to get elected next November. This kind of stuff is just not going to help them because we're over it.
How do you think this plays in America, across the country? I mean, Minneapolis is one thing. You can make a case. Minnesota is always elected far left or left politicians, from Hubert Humphrey to, they were the first to send socialists, I believe, to the government, the first socialist to Congress. It's been the home of, I think it was where the Teamsters Union was created. Don't hold me to that, but I believe I'm right about that. So it's always had a tendency to be a left of center place, Minneapolis. But
yeah, you know, Pete, some polls have come out, and the question I've been thinking of are people who voted for Trump this last election, like Hispanics, a lot of Hispanics. How are they feeling about all of this? And a recent poll came out about Hispanics who live in Texas, and there's been a shift. They're not happy with what's going on, and I think that's what's going to happen in these
everybody that's been shot so far is an Anglo.
Yeah, but I think they realize that, you know, the people they're going after are people who don't look American.
Do you believe that?
Yes, I do.
That if you don't, go ahead, say it. You say it.
The thing that doesn't make sense to me, there doesn't seem to be a cogent strategy as to what they're doing. I mean, why are they sending everyone into Minnesota? I mean, the fraud that
Somalis.
went up.
The Somalis.
Yeah. And you know, about that fraud, I work for a federal agency where we look at fraud, and that's part of what I do. There's been plenty of fraud in the past, like the PPP program and all the COVID programs that were done by Americans. So,
sure.
You know,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that you're right about what hammers everybody is that these folks came from another country and they're ripping off this country. And it's one thing, I guess, for our own to rip it off. You're right. But the Somali model, and I've read significant amounts about it, I don't think a nickel of that money, Gary, stayed in this country. I think it went back to Somalia. I really do. And
yeah,
so do others.
You know, most of the 20,000 Somalis benefited, but there is a group, I think there was a group of 69 Somalis who actually engaged in the fraud, and they used all those other Somalis as pawns.
Oh, yeah.
Those other Somalis, it's the same way when American fraudsters, what they'll do is they'll file fake tax returns.
Sure. If you remember when the Clintons sent the Rangers and the Night Stalkers and everybody, remember Aristide was a warlord. These are tribal warlord oriented, and they're not going to suddenly become small d Democrats. It isn't going to happen, and they're tribal, and they came here, and they're smart, and they saw the hole, and they took it. And but it was set up by Anglos. It wasn't set up by black people. It was set up by white libs in Minnesota, and I think some of that money came back to politicians. I really do believe that. I do believe that.
Absolutely.
I got to pull the pin. Thank you. Folks on the phones, hang on. We're going to do the top of the hour turnaround and come back and say good afternoon. The man is dead after another shooting in Minneapolis, and it's involving, of course, federal immigration agents from Customs and Border Protection. What do you think Donald Trump will do? What do you think is going to happen next? Hang on, 710 KN.